Today, I want to share something deeply personal. It's not just a story, it's more of a glimpse into the real consequences of immigration policies and how they're impacting families like mine in the state of Oklahoma. And I'm pretty sure across the country, if not yet soon. A lot of people hear about deportation and think of it as like this abstract issue, just headlines or political talking points. But for some of us, it's terrifyingly real. I have relatives who are undocumented immigrants. They have worked incredibly hard to create a life here, just like so many others. But right now, they're living in constant fear of being ripped away from everything that they've built and worked so hard on. In the state of Oklahoma, where I'm from, we're seeing an eagerness to implement mass deportation policies. And it's happening right in the communities where I grew up, where my family still lives. So we've seen law enforcement checkpoints. They're being set up in areas with large Hispanic populations. People are posting pictures in local Facebook forums to warn others. And while that is very sweet, I'm very proud of the Oklahomans trying to keep everyone safe. It is still very heartbreaking that this is even necessary. So this is what the fear looks like from up close. I was talking to my sister earlier today, and she told me that one of our cousins reached out to her asking if she could take care of her toddler in case she gets deported. Can you can you imagine having to make that call to prepare for the possibility of being torn away from your child and leaving them behind because of a policy? It's insane. I don't have kids, but I do have my dogs, and they're basically my children. If someone forced me to leave my life right now and leave them behind, that would be super devastating. It would devastate me. It would kill me. And yet, this is the reality for so many parents right now. For my family, it's a fear we live with every day ever since this started. For a lot of us, we've seen what it takes to get here. The legal process is always the first option that a lot of people take. But when that stops being realistic and you're still pretty desperate and trying to survive, you start considering other avenues. And that's just a human reaction. I have relatives who paid upwards of $10,000, money that took them years to save up, to hire what's known as a coyote. So it's basically just people who help immigrants cross the border illegally. And that journey is very traumatic. It costs in money, but in sacrifice as well. I've seen it up close. My family endured, well, other immigrants endure severe abuse like rape, and they rob them, starve them, because think about it, who are they going to report this to? They can't do anything about it. They're locked in safe houses without anything to eat or drink for hours, covered in ticks just from the terrain they just crossed. And I have cousins who are still haunted by the trauma of their journey. And yet, despite everything they've been through, they've done nothing but work hard and contribute to our society since arriving. Here's the thing. Deportation isn't just cruel, it's also kind of stupid. It's also expensive and hurts all of us. So deporting just one person can cost thousands of dollars, and undocumented immigrants contribute billions to our economy through taxes, labor, consumer spending. industries like agriculture, construction, and hospitality, they heavily depend on immigrant workers. So removing them causes labor shortages, increased prices, economic strain for the entire country. So when people support these deportation policies, they're not just hurting immigrant families, they're actually hurting the United States economy and themselves. And what makes this even worse is how Oklahoma is handling this. There's a new rule that they've been talking about where they could track how many students have undocumented immigrant parents. I cannot stress enough how invasive and disgusting this is. Targeting kids and families like this, it's not just inhumane, it's setting a dangerous precedent. And for those of us in Oklahoma, well, I'm in Texas now, but for those in Oklahoma, the fear is palpable. Right now, my family is too scared to leave the house unless it's absolutely necessary. I know at least my sister and I, we've offered to DoorDash groceries or just, help in other small ways. But the reality is no one should have to live like this. No one. When I think about my relatives, their sacrifices, the trauma, and how hard they've worked, it truly breaks my heart. They have done everything to contribute to this country, but in return, they're living with the constant fear of losing everything. So, sorry for the rant. To anyone watching this outside of Oklahoma, I urge you to pay attention. What's happening in Oklahoma might come to your state next. These policies don't just tear families apart. They hurt communities, they hurt economies, and everything we stand for as a nation. Do not forget that. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And to my undocumented friends and families out there, please stay safe, stay informed, stay connected, and look out for each other. But yes, we need to do better, not just for immigrants, but for all of us, because when one part of the when one part of the community suffers, we all do. So let's remember the humanity behind the headlines and fight for a future where no one has to live in fear. So thank you very much for watching. And if this resonates with you, please share, like this video. Let's keep the conversation going. Bye.